Hey everybody, welcome back to my series, As It Is in Heaven. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Prince Amen. I am Revelation 21:7, which says, "The one who conquers shall inherit all things. I shall be his God, and he shall be my son." And much more than that, many other scriptures apply. But anyway, the purpose of this is to tell you what the true meaning of words are, because that's how you were co-opted last time. So we were working on, last time I told you what the mark of the beast was. So the mark of the beast. It is the collective corruption of mankind. Now, back in the Garden of Eden, when Eve said she wanted to be like God, then after she did her thing, in the garden, and then Cain popped out, and she says, "Now I'm like God. I created a man." You see, what she's saying is, I created a man. Not that I created one like normal birth. What she's saying is that I mixed up the DNA and now I got my own kind of person. That's what Jesus was talking about. Now, I've already talked about, how you don't really die, about one generation hasn't passed yet, but you've been through many iterations of the same thing. So what I want to say to you is the mark of the beast, it replaced certain parts of your genome that was human, and now it's been replaced with foreign DNA. Didn't belong there. And that's where all this crap comes from. That's why we're all messed up. Kind of give you an example of how it goes down. Now, back in the garden, people believe, when you get married, the two become one flesh, okay? That was when I got married in the Baptist church. They told me that crap too, and it's a bunch of lies, all right? The two are counted as one flesh at the moment you let the rapture come. That's what it was about. The two become one flesh. They're counted as one flesh. That's why you didn't be unequally yoked. That's why all this stuff mattered, man. It's like how it all go together is not how we were told, but it goes together. And that's my purpose, is to tell you how it goes together. So the two become one flesh. That's counted as when you on death. Now, there's a lot to be said about that, okay? The two become one flesh. If one is lesser, one is not saved and one is saved, then just use that as terms, and they're not even applicable. They don't even work anymore. You didn't bring the good one up, the bad one up. The bad one brought you down. So many of you didn't go to heaven because of your spouse. I'll get a lot more into that later. Now we're doing the mark of the beast. Now the mark of the beast is a collective corruption of mankind. Collectively, they become like an animal. Collectively, mankind with a corrupt DNA has become like an animal. Take, for instance, Netanyahu. He's out trying to destroy the world, murders, wars, and shit like that, Collectively, that's what the beast is. It's the corruption of the genome that makes you do shit that you don't want to do. But it blinds you, it takes you over, and eventually will consume you. And it will kill you. Because it is also death. But that was what the purpose of it was. So now, who has it? All right, I've got a list here, and I'll just make it short. Everybody has the mark of the beast, because it goes to the true nature of what sin is, and I'm not ready to discuss that. But everybody has the mark of the beast, and collectively, you are the beast in the world, because he's a beast. He's an animal. He's scared. He's frightening. That's what it does. It brings fear, wants to attack, and all that stuff. That's what the beast is. So what's he doing? He's out stomping all his enemies out. They aren't his enemies. They're just imaginary, because the mark makes them see him that way. Now, so the collective corruption of mankind. The corruption of mankind goes to the true nature of what sin is. Remember? In John chapter 16, he's going to prove the world wrong with sin. I'm going to show you all this stuff. All right, this is who I am. This is what I'm for, and this is what happened. All right, I was taken to heaven and taught all this stuff. Not like somebody who had a near-death experience. And I can tell. How do you test the spirit of a near-death experience? Ask them if they saw his pee-pee, because they don't wear clothes in heaven. Anyway, then you know a fraud from a real one. Anyway, support me. My name is Prince Amen. I am the only begotten Son of King Jesus Christ. Mark of the beast. You have it. Everybody's got it. Now, what do we do? That's the next one. Stay tuned for the next one. Can you get rid of the mark of the beast?